physics is becoming a more and more crucial part of interdisciplinary research every day. So, is there a field that intrigues you particularly?
See, in every walk of life, it has become too difficult. In some sense, it's as a mathematician, I may love it, but in some sense, it also kind of frightens me. It's something like you think mathematics is a panacea for your problems. You know the word panacea, right? It's not a cure-all. Okay, sometimes just because you don't do your good research in your own field, you think by doing experiment and collecting data and using statistics to twist the data to suit your needs or what you want to enunciate as a principle, people may be misusing. Okay, so that is really bothering me. It has nothing to do with only this kind of data where I mean the experimental data and then you generate a lot more data, etc. Even theoretical sciences, I don't want to mention that because many of the friends will, I mean, be after my throat. Okay, even in a very theoretical fields, they unnecessarily try to make use of mathematics instead of trying to develop intuition specific to that field. See, look at Einstein. Okay, he didn't have anything. As he was proud of saying, his lab was here. Okay, so you should think much more about your subject, and mathematics you should use it as a tool, but you should not think of it. It's going to explain everything to you, because mathematics, by very nature, is a modeling science. All right, that's one thing which I kind of uh, smile if somebody say mathematical modeling, because mathematics for me is a modeling science. Okay, I am a pure mathematician, as they call it. Okay, I don't look for mathematics whether it has any applications, etc. But on the other hand, I believe mathematics is a modeling science, because my simple example will immediately tell you. As a primitive man, you said two goats and three goats, five goats, and two hens and three hens, five hens. Okay, slowly you learn to 2 plus 3 is 5. This is an abstraction. Now you can apply it to anything. Suppose we say 2 monsters plus 3 monsters is 5 monsters. You may not know whether monsters exist, but if you say, okay, in that room I saw two black monsters and three white monsters, then I know there should be 5 monsters. I don't even know that it exists. You see that, whether you told the truth or not. So that way it is a modeling science. So it's everywhere, wherever they have to model something, then naturally math helps it. But it's one has to deal with care. You should mathematical tools cannot replace very highly specialized intuition specific to the particular subject, be it economics, psychology, or population control, whatever. Okay, I'm talking about the so-called non-science fields. But even there, a kind of intuition specific to the subject needs to be at the foreground.
So, you also mentioned that you would have either opted for Tamil literature or English literature if you were not a mathematician. Am I getting that correctly?
I'm very surprised. I didn't expect you to remember that. Yes.
So, sir, is there any book related to that part of literature that you would recommend, students to read and understand?
See, yes, in Tamil, there is two anthologies. Okay. And for example, there is nothing parallel to any English, any language in the world at present except Tamil. Okay. And those two things talk about the society. Remember, they are all almost about 2000 years old. They only talk about the society, people's living, and the code of conduct. Not code of conduct meaning some kind of real life. Okay. One of the things I'm sorry, had I known you are going to ask, I would have kept it ready. I can show you that. Okay. One of the poem okay, I can quote you. Why? Yeah. Now you see our prime minister made it popular, right? Kaniyan Pungandranar, he quoted. In that he says he is the first one to say, okay, in spite of whatever why they some Kutubagam or something. What is that? I don't know. Some Sanskrit. This came before that also. They will say, of course, it was in a Veda. Anyway. So he says the entire world is one single village. All of us are brethren. Okay, that's what it is. It goes to say something more. towards the end it says something. Remember, it's 2000 years ago when there was a lot of raja, citizens, slaves, that kind of attitude might have been there, right? Even today it's there, in spite of saying democracy. At that time he says, just because he is better than me, I don't hold him in awe. And just because this fellow is inferior to me, I don't treat him with contempt. Okay. And he says much more beautifully. I just can't translate it well. Okay. If I thought about it, I would have come up with a better way. But this is what he says. That's about 2000 years ago. How to treat people with equanimity. Okay. That kind of things. And it's replete with such things. And it doesn't talk about only among kings and demons, okay, gods, their fight like Greek mythology or Sanskrit mythology, or look at various other things. It doesn't. There is no mythology. And it talks about real lives of the society, and that's it. What you would call Satyajit Ray film kind of poem, reality. Yeah. And there are English translations available. I will say the name if somebody can capture it. It's called the Purananuru. It talks about 400 poems about external world. And Agananuru, 400 poems about internal.
Vasudeva Kutumbakam.
Yeah, Vasudeva Kutumbakam. Yeah, correct.
Yes.
Vasudeva Kutumbakam.
So Akana Nuru.
Akananuru.
Akana Nuru.
Akam means someone inner.
Inner.
Puram means someone, it's andar bahar.
Oh.
Purananuru is bahar, outside,
Okay.
outside world. So it talks about your inner feelings and then outer society of the thing. A lot of English translations, I think Penguin has published. Okay, selected, not all. Even that it says 400, but we lost. We don't get all 400. We might have got only about few hundred, less than
So why is
200
that?
or 300, some sort of thing. But some of them are translated into English. In many languages, in particular English.
So, sir, in original Tamil also, some of the poems have been lost over time.
Many.
Okay.
Many. In fact, the reason was very interesting. During there is a Pongal, right? What do you call Makara Sankranti or a spring festival? Punjab celebrates it again around harvest festival.
April.
Right.
Baisakhi.
Yeah. And just before that, the previous day, what the point is, any old things you should dispose of and acquire new things. Okay. So during that, casting away old things, okay, somebody put it in their mind, all those things are on palm leaves. Okay. So you should throw it into the running water, river. Okay. And that was the case, but luckily many survived. And real credit goes to cannibal, again British people. Okay, they were the one who found out. Okay, in spite of whatever we say, Christian missionaries only after conversion. Okay, there are people who took to some other work also.
Yes, sir. So they did a lot of restoration work.
Yes, exactly. In every field, and not only Tamil.
And even the books that we have on the history of India today are mostly written by authors who are foreigners. They're not mostly Indian authors that we read also.